Alrighty, let's get the show on the road.
Oh wait, we probably have to turn it. We're not live yet, are we?
Don't think so.
I
don't think we are. My mic's not even on.
Yeah, neither is mine.
Mine is.
Your mic has been on.
This is a soft launch episode.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, what happened after Stefan wasn't here for one?
Imagine he's at work, like, listening to our hot mess.
Hello. I don't think my mic is. There we go.
Oh.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to the Couch Potato Podcast. This is a lighthearted show where we discuss our favorite sitcoms, share funny anecdotes, and put our sitcom knowledge to the test. My name is Maya,
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Sheeza.
and we're so excited to start this show and share our love for sitcoms with you all. Speaking of love, this episode, love is definitely in the air. We're actually going to be sharing 3 of our favorite Valentine's Day episodes. Some classics, some of our faves. So grab some breakfast, locate your nearest couch, and join us for our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting. And today we have a special guest with us. This is Sheeza. I don't know if they can see us. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think
Probably would be able to see us.
They can see us.
Yeah.
This is Sheeza over here. She is our producer.
Collectively.
She's our collective leader,
Yeah.
and without
Yeah.
her, the show would not really have
Okay.
started
she
and
got us all
happened.
together.
Yeah.
She organized us.
So
Sweet. This show is wonderful, and it's like so entertaining because like sitcoms are entertaining. So it's honestly, you guys are the glue to this wonderful show. So
Well, we may or may not have voluntold Sheeza to take over Stefan's place
a
today.
little bit, a little bit.
But yeah.
it's okay. It's gonna be a great show because like you can see we're all wearing like red, pink,
Red and pink.
Because
We're
it's
in-
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
It
Well,
may have been last week, but that's not the important.
It's the Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So
All right.
we can get it
Start
started.
talking about some episodes.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're gonna start off this week by talking about one of my favorite Valentine's Day episodes, which is season 1, episode 14 of Friends, called "The One with the Candy Hearts." So in this episode, we've got Joey, who's got a date with this woman, and she wants to bring her friends. So she wants it to be a double date. So he like convinces Chandler to go out with him. He's like, "Come on, man! Like you got to come with me." She wants someone for her friend. You haven't been on a date since you broke up with Janice. Which, I don't know if anyone knows Janice, but we know Janice. She's we don't like Janice. So then Chandler's like, "All right, fine." So then Joey brings him on this date, and then the woman's like, "All right, cool. Can you just grab this for Janice?" And then they were like, "What?" And it turns out that Janice was the lady's friend. And like that was hilarious. Like that was so funny. So Chandler's like, "No, I gotta get out of here. Like, please get me out of here." But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Like the complete opposite happens actually. And Chandler ends up with Janice at the end of the night, and then in the morning he's like, "Oh no, what did I do? What did I do?" And it's actually so funny. I remember like in the episode, everyone was like, "Hey, Janice!" Like he came out of like the apartment and everyone could see Janice, and they're like, it was hilarious. And then he's got to break up with her, but he's like, "I can't break up with her on Valentine's Day. Like that's awful. That's an awful thing to do." So, but he's got to do it because Janice is incredibly annoying.
Okay.
Thank you for that, tech people. So yeah, then he's got to break up with her. He ends up breaking up with her, and Janice like gives him these like candy hearts with their names on them, and she's like, "No, Chandler, you're in love with me. You just don't know it." So then we also got Ross, who goes on a date. It's like his first date, since him and his ex-wife Carol like divorced, and he goes out to like some dinner, and then Carol shows up with her new girlfriend, I think. Yeah, I think they're just dating, and unfortunately Carol's girlfriend has to leave, so Ross like invites Carol over to sit with him and his date, and then he ends up just talking like his night off with Carol, and then like his date leaves, and it's kind of upsetting. But and then we've got Rachel, Monica, and Phoebe, who decide they're gonna do some ritual thing to get rid of like bad luck with their boyfriends and like burn stuff that was given to them by like bad guys. And then they accidentally start a fire because like Rachel like Luffy, and she poured some like whatever that was and poured it into the fire thingy, and it caught like a big fire. And that's pretty much how the episode went. It was quite funny.
There's honestly so much to unpack with that episode.
Yeah.
Did you say you don't like Janice?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a little bit
like
controversial.
Janice is such an iconic character. Like, you know, like the oh my
she's
God,
very
Chandler
funny.
Bing.
She's like
it's iconic.
She is, but it's hilarious. Like her parts are really funny, but when she starts speaking, I'm just like, like I have to like pull my ears off.
Really?
But it's really funny. It's hilarious.
2 for 2. You keep coming out with the
Controversial?
First it was Jake Peralta, and now it's Janice.
Okay, that was just an initial reaction. Janice, though, after a whole season, I'm like, no, girl, please stop talking.
I love how that they always like end up going back to each other somehow.
Yeah, soulmates.
Yeah.
Like one season he's in love with her, one season he's not.
Yeah. And like the way that Janice speaks to him, he like believes that he actually does.
I was convinced too when she was like, you don't, now you love me, but you love me, Chandler.
Hey, that's what
I was like, oh, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I love the music there sometimes.
Wait, what are we doing again
All right, so really quickly, we're going to play our wonderful game of Whose Line Was It? So, just like last week, I will say a line from the show, and you guys have to guess who it was. All right, this first one we literally just did, so let's just... Ready? Oh my God. So, was it Rachel, Janice, or Carol?
I wonder who it could be.
Who is it? Oh my goodness.
It's
many
obviously the wonderful
options.
Janice.
It is Janice. So we know her by like this famous catchphrase. Like every time she enters like into the scene, it's the oh my God.
She
like,
says it with her like wonderful like Brooklyn accent,
yeah.
and, like nasally
and nasal.
tone.
Oh my God.
And her laugh.
I was gonna say her laugh. That's what really
Oh my
had
God,
me. I
if
was
you
like,
see the captions on like the show, and whenever she laughs, it like there's different things. Once it said like a hyena laughing.
really?
Yeah. That's dirty.
That's so funny. Okay, second line. There's more beer, right? Is that Phoebe Buffay, the quirky spiritual vegetarian, Joey Tribbiani, the one who loves baseball and he's quite the player, or is it Monica Geller, the clean and organization freak who is also Ross's sister?
I'm pretty sure that sounds like a Joey line.
I was gonna say it's a Joey line, but I remember the show and I watched it yesterday again, and I believe it's Monica that says it.
She does say this. Yeah, so this is when Monica and Rachel and Phoebe are like discussing their ex's less attractive qualities, and then Phoebe compares herself to a magnet, and she's saying a bunch of like crazy stuff. You know, that's Phoebe. I love Phoebe. So Monica's like, "There's more beer, right? Like, I don't think she's gonna make it through this night sober." I think that's what she's implying here. Mm-hmm. All right, then our last line. You know my friend Abby who shaved her head? Is that Rachel Green, the one with the iconic hair, Phoebe Buffay, the quirky spiritual vegetarian, or Ross Geller, the one who's a paleontologist and is Monica's brother?
I think that's Phoebe.
Yeah, I think it would be Phoebe. Phoebe had a whole bunch of strange friends.
Yeah. She did. Phoebe was strange herself.
She was.
Yeah, so it was Phoebe. She did say that. I think she probably said that right before Monica was like, "There's more beer, right?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Alrighty, so that was our first game of Whose Line Was It, and our first show that we were talking about today, the one with the candy hearts. What did you guys think of this episode? You guys liked it?
I thought it was great. It was
fun
wonderful.
one.
It was iconic.
Yeah, it's really funny. I feel like for me, I would love to do like a burning ritual of like some like
Ritual.
that sounds really bad. But you know, if I had like some crazy ex-boyfriend and he just gave me a bunch of stuff,
And then just
I'd
like
put it-
burn it on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
yeah,
Yeah, just relieve you of that stress.
yeah, that sounds like a crazy ex-girlfriend thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'd do it anyway.
Good to know
Yeah.
where you stand on this.
Don't break Gabby's heart 'cause she's gonna burn all your stuff.
You want your hoodie back? Sorry,
No.
it's burnt.
Alrighty.
Oh no.
It's like a second before that stinger plays.
All right. The second show we're going to be talking about today is Parks and Recreation, and the episode specifically is Valentine's Day, Season 2, Episode 16. So for anyone who hasn't seen the show, basically Parks and Recreation is a show about the antics of the Parks and Rec department in a local government in Pawnee, Indiana. The boss or head, I guess, of the department is Leslie Knope, and she's kind of like the Michael Scott of the group, if you will. And she's, doing some crazy stuff, always getting into trouble and things like that. But she's got a good heart at the end of the day, like our beloved Michael Scott, too. This episode, Leslie is taking out all the other ladies who work at the Parks and Rec department to a Valentine's Day brunch at her favorite diner. And they're just having their girl time. And she actually invites her mother as well. And her mother tells what Leslie calls the most romantic story ever. And it's about how she had a vacation love affair in Bermuda that in her teenage years that just, was supposed to be something. He proposed to her, but it never was because she was too young. So she tells that story, and everyone obviously falls in love with the story. And Leslie tells her boyfriend at the time, Justin, that story, and he is a man of action, and he's like, we need to get them back together. So they start going on a wild goose chase to try to find this guy and reunite them at this retirement home Valentine's Day party. So that's kind of what happens in the show. In the end, they do reunite. Unfortunately, it's not as romantic as one would hope, though. The guy's kind of, not as great as she remembers him.
A little weird.
He's unemployed, just living his best life. But, it doesn't end up being a love match. And unfortunately, it doesn't end up being a love match between Leslie and Justin as well, because they do end up breaking up. But something fun about this episode is that we get to see a lot of the different relationships develop in this series. We've got April and Andy showing more interest in one another. April's the intern who works there, and Andy's the shoe shiner. And we start to see crushes develop and their connection as well. We see Tom, who's an assistant there, talking to his ex-wife who he married because of a green card
Such a
situation.
complicated relationship.
I know.
Right?
I think they're divorced at this point, but he's trying to win her back.
Did he try to sue her?
Yeah, and
at
he's
the end?
Oh yeah, he tried to. So she said no to going out with him.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, and basically he said, if you don't go out with me, I'm gonna sue you for alimony. And she said,
And he's like, okay, just one date. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, just 1 hour. And she's like, do
No.
you expect this to work?
Yeah, basically that's what happened. Just casual blackmail in the government there, but
Nothing too big.
nothing too crazy.
No, suing? What?
Yeah. We also have
So crazy.
Anne, who's the nurse and Leslie's best friend, and her boyfriend, Mark. And Mark is, not a boyfriend kind of guy. And this is the first time he's been with somebody on Valentine's Day. So he kind of goes a little above and beyond for her, giving her pretty much every Valentine's Day gift known to man.
Every cliche Valentine's gift.
Oh,
The
yeah.
flowers, the heart-shaped chocolate.
bear.
Teddy
the
bear.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Valentine's Day gifts? What's your do you like a cheesy gift or no?
Well, I can't say that I've ever been and with someone on Valentine's
Right.
Day. So like I don't know what a gift would look. Wow, this is really sad.
No,
I did not mean
like
to
like
I'm
you know
with
like in a
you.
girl boss kind of way. Like I don't
Yeah.
need a man on Valentine's Day, but like yeah. I feel like you can see like Mark is like really trying to impress Anne and like getting a whole bunch of gifts, but like I don't know, at the end like it kind of like hinted towards like Anne that like she wasn't really like vibing with Mark.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, it's great, it's wonderful even, and
He's
like
perfect, but
Yeah.
your face was not saying that for
yeah,
sure.
it just didn't seem right. But I don't know. Or have you gotten I don't know, all those types of gifts on
No.
Valentine's Day?
No. I have not. Like, I've never actually I mean, you know, like in like elementary school,
Yeah.
you know, that was the most Valentine's Day
True.
Valentine's I've ever like had.
You
Like
get
when,
like the lollipop heart
Yeah,
and like
everyone
little
would bring
cheesy-
everyone-
Every little
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
yeah. Other than that, no. But I don't think like I'm the type of person that wants like a big. I love gifts, but like on my
As you should.
birthday or Christmas, Valentine's Day, I don't really care too much. Like, I definitely don't want flowers. Like when people are like, "Oh, I want flowers," I'm like,
Really?
"Really? You want flowers?" I'm like, "Those are just gonna make me
Again,
sneeze."
controversial opinion.
What do you have against like nature? Jeez.
No, I just like, I just don't want flowers.
Maybe you're connecting with Anne more than maybe we are, because
Yeah.
she was
I
not
think
vibing
so.
with what Mark was doing.
No, and also like, didn't she like give him like just like a towel and like
Yeah.
regular stuff, and he like loved that, and I was like, that's odd. No, I definitely feel like I'm vibing with Anne over here. Like I get it. I'm not too big on like super big romantic stuff. Like you just give me a pizza shaped in a heart.
Literally,
I'll take
pizza.
it.
Pizza actually makes heart-shaped
Yeah, they
pizza
do.
for
Like if you just
Valentine's
brought me
Day.
that,
Like there you go. That's a motive. for
right?
Valentine's
Pizza pizza's not my
Day.
favorite, but I'll take it
Exactly.
because it's that's it.
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
what if we wanted to get like a pizza sponsorship? Now you just.
If you're listening from Pizza Pizza, I'm so sorry. Your garlic dip is great.
There we go.
all right. I got another question for you guys. So Tom's green card marriage, right? Is that something, that you'd ever consider? I mean, clearly Tom is in love with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
But, it is a complicated situation. That is, how do you guys feel about that relationship on the show? Like, what do you think is about that? And I feel like she's kind of taking advantage of him a little bit, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like I get where he's coming from 100%. Like, I mean, you actually love her and you want to work, but it's like, she's like not for it. It was just solely like legal purposes or whatever, like fake. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. Like if I did that, I feel like I'd maybe want it to work out if I fell in love with the person. But then like at the same time, like I'd understand, like, it wasn't for like actual purposes. Like you didn't actually love me. You didn't actually want to get married. So I would, just gotta let it go eventually. But I gotta give it to him for like, persistence. Like keep going, keep trying, bud. It might work out.
Yes, I love Tom's character because he's just so confident. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what happens to him, he just, like, keeps going.
Keep going. And, like, that's the key in life. Just gotta keep going.
Exactly. And like that plot line, like you could see it kind of like flourishing into something kind of cool. Like you fall in love with the person that like kind of helped you stay in the country, I guess, with your green card. But
Yeah.
I guess it just wasn't meant to be for them. And I think like Tom obviously deserves better. But yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting dynamic between those two.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's always an interesting dynamic with like anyone that's involved with Tom.
Pretty much.
He's just so unique.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite characters. Another favorite of mine is April. I just
I
love
love
her so
April.
much. She's so, like, deadpan about everything.
Aubrey Plaza is like very similar to her character,
yeah.
which is so interesting.
She just said she'd be herself,
Exactly.
But yeah, who's your favorite characters on the show if you guys have seen Parks and Rec?
I would have to say Leslie Knope.
Leslie.
Like obviously, like you have to have like a good place in your heart for Leslie. She's like, she's like so loving and she like does the most, and obviously Leslie, but then also like I love is it Andy? The shoe shiner, right? Is
Yeah.
that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do they have a shoe shiner in City Hall?
I don't know, man. That's so weird.
I think that's so funny, and that, like, I think who's the person that always goes to see Andy at the shoe shining place? Like the one character that's just like always sitting there, and like Andy always gets annoyed by him.
The old,
the random old guy.
He's
But like,
always
yeah,
there.
you have to watch the show just to see the dynamics in the show, and they're like all so funny and
His
they're
shoe
so
always
unique.
needs to be shined, I guess.
I guess so. Don't they like sell like shoe shiners like
Yeah.
in the store? But no, I've only seen this episode. Sorry. But just like right off the bat, like I was like Tom was like killing me. Like every time he'd say something, he'd be like, "Am I right, Justin? Am I right, Justin?"
Just looking for validation. Yeah.
But it was so funny because Justin would never answer, and he would just be like saying anything. Like and it was just really funny. I was like, yeah, that feels like the kind of person that's like making jokes and like wants someone else to like chime in and be like, yeah, that was funny. But he's not getting it, but he still goes. Like he's still trying. That's like my favorite thing about him is no matter he's not funny, he's not getting the girl. Oh well. And he was like, I'm gonna become lifeguards, they get all the action. Am I right, Justin? It was really funny.
Yeah, he's just trying to be like this ultimate guy, and anytime he sees one, he just like clings on to them.
Yeah.
He's like, you agree with me?
Yeah.
And Justin, for anyone who doesn't know, is like this suave lawyer kind of guy, so he just like, clings on to him the whole episode. But
yeah,
another favorite character of mine is actually Ron Swanson.
Ron, yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, Gabby, because you haven't really seen the episode, but he's like the ultimate libertarian. He hates the government, but he works for the government.
Okay.
So that's always a fun dynamic to see how he's gonna try to destroy them.
He's like his like character development throughout the show is like very interesting to see because like at the start he's like a very like macho man and he doesn't like care about like too much emotions and stuff, but by the end like his dynamic with Leslie is like it's beautiful and like he cares so much about her and like he cares so much about like all his staff, which is very cool. Who's the other guy? Larry? That they always we don't see too much of him.
Larry. His name changes.
Larry. They always say the wrong name for him.
Who?
Yeah, I don't think he's that prominent in the episode, but there's this one guy that they always like, bother, and they like don't even say his name correctly. And he's kind of like the sweet guy who does everything, but like they don't.
Oh, was he the one that was like, I've been happily married for 23 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm paying attention.
He's like almost like the Toby from Office, like Michael just hates him.
Just like in the background.
They just hate him for no reason.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, that's kind of the show. All right, we're going to be playing another round of Whose Line Was It? Parks and Rec style. So don't forget to play along at home with us. The first line we're going to be doing is, it's like Lilith Fair minus the angst, plus frittatas. Was it Leslie Knope, the ambitious and crazy and caring boss? Ann Perkins, the kind nurse, best friend to Leslie? Or April Ludgate, the emotionless deadpan intern?
I believe it's Leslie Knope, and she's like describing Valentine's Day, right? Kind of like at the start.
I want to say it's Leslie as well.
Yeah, you guys got it. So at the end of the Valentine's Day brunch in the very beginning, Leslie compares her annual tradition to the music festival that put women first, the Lilith Fair. But she adds frittatas to that, of course.
Right. That was a line that was like, I feel like that's Leslie.
Yeah. The next line is, ask not what your old people could do for you. Ask what you could do for your old people. Is it A, Tom Haverford, the witty assistant to Leslie? B, Ron Swanson, the libertarian supervisor? Or C, Leslie Knope, the crazy and kind boss?
Oi. I can remember this line, but not who said it.
Just take a while to get
You would think that this would be something that Ron says because like it's like a very complex sentence, but I believe this is Leslie Knope again. She's doing a JFK impersonation.
Yes.
You got it.
I knew.
Oh my god, I watched too much TV.
Yeah, I mean, you got it right on. I mean, it's her once again, and she's got a lot of fun lines in this episode. So she's announcing that they're doing a retirement home Valentine's Day dance, and no one is looking forward to it.
Right.
And then she misquotes the famous JFK line, and Tom actually thinks it's from the Terminator.
Oh yeah, and then she says like a Terminator line.
Yeah.
After, yeah.
Okay, last line. You don't know Jay-Z's schedule. He's a Renaissance man. Was that A, Leslie Knope, the crazy boss, B, Tom Haverford, the witty assistant, or C, Andy Dwyer, the aloof shoe shiner?
My instinct is telling me it's Tom. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get Tom. Tom is in the know of like all like pop culture type of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got it again. When Tom tries to win over his ex-wife's love, he offers her fancy champagne that supposedly Jay-Z drinks. The ex-wife, who's a doctor, responds saying Jay-Z doesn't have to perform surgery later, to which Tom replies, you don't know Jay-Z's schedule. He's a Renaissance, man.
What a comparison.
I know.
I'm sure Jay-Z's performing surgery right now
100%.
as we speak.
It's Jay-Z. You don't know.
We don't know.
Hold for technical difficulties.
I love that we can hear Ariane laughing. Okay, sweet. So our final show, we are going to be talking about the lovely, lovely The Office. And it's the episode called Valentine's Day. Isn't that perfect for this?
Yeah.
So basically in this episode, well, if you don't know what The Office is, it's like a mockumentary that follows like the work lives of people that work at Dunder Mifflin, which is a paper company. They sell paper. So what's happening in the episode is Michael Scott, the regional manager, he goes to New York to meet with Jan, and they're meeting the new CFO. So it's like a very important meeting. Before the meeting, Michael accidentally reveals to the other people in the office that he hooked up with Jan, which is not the greatest intro to that meeting. And then the secret is actually exposed to the CFO and everyone during the actual presentation. And then Jan gets all nervous about getting fired. But then Michael is like very sweet and he tries to cover it up by telling the CFO that he was just making a joke. And like the CFO is like, okay, well, that's kind of like a serious joke. So like maybe like calm down. But then, yeah, they're like, okay, that's just fine. But then at the end, Mrs. Jan, she's very unique. She ends up kissing Michael anyways, but like the camera crew, they were already filming them, which she didn't realize. And it kind of ends with the elevator door closing and then Jan realizing she was on camera. Mm-hmm. And then back in Scranton at Dunder Mifflin, Dwight is trying to find a Valentine's gift for Angela. They're in a little secret relationship, and she gives him like a really cute little bobblehead that looks exactly like Dwight. And then Pam and her fiance Roy, they're trying to not spend too much because they're supposed to get married. So throughout the day, she kind of gets all the gifts for everyone. Like in the office, so like because she's like the receptionist, so like she's like signing off on people getting flowers, getting a teddy bear. It's like Phyllis that gets so many gifts from Bob Vance, and then Kelly, who's also a wonderful character, she's like talking Jim's ear off about her date with Ryan, who also works at the office. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just like they keep talking about like Kelly keeps talking about wanting to pursue Ryan, and Ryan doesn't seem interested at all. And yeah, that was the episode. But what did you guys think of it?
I mean, I thought it was a good episode. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, like, I'm on the hate Jan train. Like, I hate her so much. Mm-hmm. She just keeps sabotaging poor Michael, and
I know.
Can't make her mind up ever. But yeah, I like the whole Dwight and Angela like secret romance because it's like not as secret as they would think, but like I think at this point Pam knows, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just not saying anything. But yeah, it's very cute though. I think they're very matched up for each other. It was a good episode though. I like Kelly too a lot.
I love
fun.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Mindy Kaling plays her so well.
Mindy Kaling's the best.
She honestly is, and she produces so many other shows, and they're so wonderful.
Exactly. I love that, like, Kelly and Ryan have this, like, weird on-again, off-again relationship.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, Mindy and BJ Novak, who plays them, have the same relationship off-screen.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why, like, they put it into the show because they were both writers. So
Oh
they
my
just,
god,
like,
that's so funny.
are imitating life, I guess.
Does she write everything?
She's like one of the writers. A little fun fact: they put Kelly in the annex, which is in the back of the office, because she's one of the writers for the show. So like during like filming and stuff, they didn't want her to constantly be on camera. They wanted her writing, so that's why she was in the back, where she would actually be writing for this show, which is kind of cool. But yeah, what do you think of the episode, Gabby?
I think it was hilarious. I love like my favorite part was when Michael was in New York and he's like walking around. He's like, "Oh look, here's Tina Fey," and then he walks over to this lady who is not Tina Fey. And then this guy walks by, and I'm like, my mom's like watching with me. I'm like, "Hey, this guy, like, who is this guy?" Like, I had to pause on this. I'm like, I know this guy, and I forgot who it was. She
Conan
said,
O'Brien.
like this host guy. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah. So I was like, did they put him there on purpose? And then Michael comes back. He's like, he was here? Well, I was talking to fake Tina Fey. I was like, that was so funny. And then like I almost lost it when he like slipped up. That he's like, maybe because she's my girlfriend, about Jan, and everyone was like, what? That was really funny. Like overall the episode was hilarious. The Office is just like naturally so funny. I think it's intentionally like it's supposed to be funny, but it feels so naturally funny. It's like they're not even trying. It just like comes off like sometimes I feel like they're not even acting. I feel like they're just sitting in there like just having like a blast because
I feel like they got the characters to be a lot like the actual actors and stuff.
Yeah.
Like White acts a lot like Rainn Wilson, and then like John Krasinski is a lot like Jim, and it's just like it's like easy for them to kind of like be the way that they are, and because it's like in a work environment, it's like funny seeing like how that would play out. But yeah, this is like also another cool episode where you can see like the different relationships between people. I feel like Pam and Roy are definitely a little couple to look at. Because like obviously Pam just wanted like a small little gesture to like show that Roy loves her, but he clearly didn't pick up on that, and like you kind of see that throughout the show that like Roy and her are not the greatest couple.
Oh yeah. No. How many years together? How many years engaged?
Just being engaged.
Gosh. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of sad. She starts like I think in this episode she starts talking about her wedding or something, and then Jim, who's obviously in love with her, is like trying to book a trip at that point so he like doesn't have to be there for the wedding, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, but, that would be the worst.
And then there's Kelly and Ryan also. Their on and off relationship, Dwight and Angela, and then Jan and Michael. And all these relationships, they're so unique. Obviously, like you said, I'm not too big of a fan of Jan. I think Michael deserves so much better.
Oh yeah.
And like you can see like how their relationship progresses, and it's very complicated. And Jan is a very concerning human being. But yeah, what do you think of like the other relationships?
I feel like what are their names again? Kelly and Ryan are like totally giving me like Chandler vibes. Like Ryan is giving me Chandler vibes because it's like she's like going off about it. She's like, oh yeah, like this happened, and oh I think it could be forever, blah blah blah. And Ryan's just like, it's like I don't really want this, but okay, cool. And then she like tries to like, she's like, oh, what are you doing on Valentine's Day? And he's like just trying everything to like not have to see her on Valentine's. And he's like I goofed up. So like that one, I see the parallel there. It's kind of it's
Yeah.
fun. I like that kind of like relationship, but like one person's like just like so into it, and the other guy is just like, yeah, oh yeah. let's-"
And the minute she's not into it, he comes running back.
Yeah. And you see that if you keep watching the show.
Hint, hint.
But yeah, you can
That's
see a whole bunch of different relationships kind of come together. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, there's like cool stuff that happens in this show.
Mm-hmm. I also love like in this episode when they're like when Michael has to go down to corporate to show their finances to
Yeah.
everyone, where he accidentally slips up about Jan, but he like instead of giving them a financial report, he gives them like a film of Scranton.
Yeah.
And like, you know, everybody working there, and he's like, we're in the people's business.
Yeah, and he has like very close up shots of all his employees.
So funny.
He's a media production student at
He
Harvard.
Oh my
literally
gosh.
is. Like, get him. Like, I feel
Talent.
like Michael Scott actually has talent.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if he got the opportunity to like make a movie, which
Maybe he may or may not
he
do.
does, but yeah, he has like some talent with his cinematic choices and stuff. But that the video is like, imagine being in this situation there and thinking that's like the logical thing to do, to like have a video at like a high like business meeting.
But I love it. It's like his excitement. It just brings like your meeting. Like you don't want your meeting to just be solely talking about business and finance and stuff. Like I love that he like brings in this video and thinks it's perfect. Like it's this is what they needed to see.
But he does also have like the reports available.
He does.
Yeah.
Like he
It
does
shows
come
like
prepared.
two sides of him. It's like I got jokes, but I also got business. Like
Exactly.
I'm serious. But yeah, I loved like the video part. I was like, that's just something I would do, you know? I just show up and here's a video because I didn't do my work, but it was low key. I got the work. It's in my bag.
For sure.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of like from just this episode? Do you have like any favorites? Any favorite characters? What do you think of like Michael's behavior and stuff?
Yeah, it's 100% Michael. Like,
Yeah.
like just hands down. So like, I don't know what it is. It's like I said, like the excitement, like his excitement for everything.
Yeah.
And like just the jokes. It's like he's just got that personality.
He's so unapologetically himself.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't work out in his favor, but you just like always like he just always like gets back from it.
I was gonna say like I just feel like he
Yeah.
always bounces back.
I love Dwight. He's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And Dwight and Jim's like whole prank wars all the time. Or in this episode when he's like he's like trying to figure out what Valentine's Day to gift Angela, and he ends up getting her like the key to his place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think he's so fun. Like who thinks like him? And he's like a beet farmer who works in a paper company. Like what are you doing here? But it's yeah, he's always got something fun to say.
Yeah, I did like one of those like personality quizzes, and like it gives you like celebrities that are similar to you, and mine was Michael Scott at the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, it was like Michael
Really?
Scott and like a whole bunch of other people, and I was like,
Oh
You know-
wait,
oh, is
that
that why
thing.
you're-
I was
yeah,
just gonna say
like, yeah, you know one of those, and it gives
Yeah.
you like celebrities and characters.
Yes,
at the
because I
bottom.
remember seeing that, and there's one that was like Michael Scott.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
guys have seen the Instagram, we have a Meet the Team, and we talk about your favorite character on each show, who you connect with the most. And
Yeah.
Sheeza's is Michael Scott, and now we know why.
Okie dokie. So, this is going to be our final round of whose line is it with The Office this time. So, the first line is New York is like Scranton on acid. No, on speed. No, on steroids. Is it Jim, the sarcastic straight man of The Office? Is it Dwight, who's always at Michael's service in hopes to be promoted? Or is it Michael, the goofy and unprofessional boss?
I mean, if that's not a Michael
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, you're right. It is Michael Scott, and he's going to New York for the meeting with the brand managers, and then he tells the camera why he loves New York so much, and he says he'd love to live in the city some days, and then he compares it to Scranton. But yeah, that's what he uses to describe it. Okay, the second line is, oh, this is a good one. Women are like wolves. If you want a wolf, you have to trap it, you have to snare it, and then you have to tame it. Is it Ryan, the on and off boyfriend of Kelly? Is it Dwight, the calculated boyfriend of Angela? Or is it Kelly, the hopeless romantic looking for the perfect man?
If that okay, that's Dwight. Is
it Dwight?
Is that your final guess?
I feel like he's very territorial, and that sounds a little, over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It is Dwight. Throughout the episode, he thinks of a Valentine's Day gift for Angela, and then finally settles on his house keys. And he thinks of women, specifically Angela, as a wolf he must tame.
Oh God.
Obviously, sometimes the way that he speaks about women is concerning. But,
yeah.
it's like not with like any malicious intent, so you're like kind of okay with it. But yeah, Dwight is referring to Angela, and he wants to trap her in.
Oh my gosh.
Which is very concerning, but we swear he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, so the third line is, I hooked up with her on February 13th. Is it Ryan, the on and off boyfriend of Kelly? Is it Dwight, the boyfriend of Angela? Or is it Michael, the goofy boss who hooked up with a colleague?
Ooh, trick question.
I think it's Ryan. Yeah, I think it's Ryan.
It is Ryan.
Yeah.
It's Ryan.
That's correct. Ryan is regretful about his date with Kelly, and then he tells the camera, he's like all like shook, like, oh my God, I hooked up with her on February 13th out of all days.
Like, hello.
And Kelly
Chandler,
is more than ecstatic about that.
Told you, it's the crossover there. Chandler and Ryan, same person.
All right. We've covered a lot of love today, I think, from a New York coffee shop to a Scranton paper company to an Indiana municipal government. Love seems to find itself in every nook and cranny of sitcoms. What did you think of today's shows that we talked about today? Is there anything we missed about the shows or an episode that we should have covered instead? Let us know on our Instagram at couchpotato.show. Once again, that's couchpotato.show. Thanks so much for listening. See you, Couch Potatoes, next Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Woo! And a special clap for Sheeza.
Yes,
our
thank you, Sheeza, for joining us.
Yes. Hopefully we get her back sometime.
All right, bye for now.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.